Yeah, though, man. I know how it is, man. Like trying to get through everything and keep a positive mind, man. I already know what it is, man.
Yeah, it is what it is, though, at this point in time. So, yeah, we live now. So, it
No,
is what the fuck. Oh, what the fuck is happening? Hold up. Are we live?
it say
Yeah,
live.
yeah, we are live. All right, hold up. Let me make sure everything is up with this. Because this is, let me see. Peace to everybody in the chat room, man. I'm trying to get this together because it just, computer screen just stopped all of a sudden. Let me see. All right, we back in, man.
Okay.
All right, so let me just wait for it to load up. Let me just wait for it to load up real quick. Hmm. All right, there we go. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Um, yeah, all right, we going back in once again on the Encyclopedia of the American Indians' contribution to the world, 15,000 years of inventions and innovation. Um, I got the brother Jaguar Omek as well as the brother AP Power, and we will be going. And we stopped at E, and we was actually on embalming. But before I go in, I just want to just touch in, and I did put the link in for the Aboriginal Atachan gear. And if anybody interested, the link is in. I actually just made some new, do some extra shirts up there. So shout out to everybody who came through and caught one. I really appreciate y'all. Um, yeah, shout out to everybody that came through and bought one, man. I really appreciate y'all. That's what's up, man. As well as brothers and sisters who sent me some donations. Like I said, if you like to send some donations to help me get this documentary and help me get some equipment. Like I said, I'm trying to get me some cameras, like a GoPro, and like just a regular camera. I don't have no regular camera at this point in time, but yeah, man, I'm definitely trying to really do this documentary. I'm gonna probably follow it with a book, but I definitely want to get this documentary in. And like I said, man, this is the channel, this is the page, the website right here. And this is the Aboriginal, little gear, just some t-shirts, man. Ain't nothing real heavy. But if you like the, you know what I'm saying, you like the content, man, support your boy, man. I'll be more than, you know what I'm saying, happy for everybody that come through, man, and support your boy, man, as well as, like I said, the donations, all right? So the link is in the description. And like I said, thank the brothers and sisters so far who did come through and caught one. And thanks to as well as thank the brothers and sisters that sent me a donation yesterday. So like the link is in the description. All right. So we back on the Encyclopedia of American Indian contribution to the world, 15,000 years of inventions and innovation. And last time we stopped at electricity. So I'm gonna be taking off on embalming. Let me see something. Hold on. Let me make sure I go back to the top. Well, you know what? I ain't even sharing my damn screen. Hold up. Let me see something. I'm bugging y'all. My bad, y'all. There we go. All right, so let me just go back to the website one more time because I wasn't even sharing my screen, y'all. Let me see something. Let's see. about that, y'all. I got a lot of shit going on tonight, so I wasn't actually sharing the screen. I just want to show y'all. I just actually just uploaded some different t-shirts. And like I said, I had a bunch of designs. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but it's just kind of costly to try to find somebody to the first time I was doing it through Spotify. I didn't really like the I ain't really like that way. And I think this is a better way to do it. Like I said, I just upload some more of them. So that's to show y'all what I'm working with. All right, y'all. All right. So that's that. Like I said, link in the description. You like to donate or you like to cop a t-shirt or anything, man, support your boy if you can. If you can't, take care of your family, man, and that's all that matters, man. All right, so we was right here. We was on embalming. All right, so I'm gonna start it off with embalming. Embalming started 5,000 BC, South America, the Andean cultures. Embalming is a process of treating a corpse with preservatives in order to prevent decay. It is one of the main aspects of mortality, science, and part of mummification. So it says, see also mummies. So it says Egyptians are well known for their practice of embalming in conjunction with mummification. Began the practice during the first dynasty in about 2000 BC. According to anthropologists, such embalming indicates a belief in an afterlife. The Ching Horo, who lived in what now is Chile, were embalming as well as mummifying, wrapping the dead, including embryos and fetuses 7,000 years ago. Some experts believe the practice may have begun 1,000 years earlier, making the Chinchorro the world's earliest embalmers. Archaeologists have discovered that both sexes and people of the social economics status were embalmed after the dead. The Chinchorro removed the internal organs of the body before treating them. They then skinned the body and disassembled it. Next, they reinforced the spinal column as well as legs, arms with support of wood and cane. Once they had treated the organs preservative for preserve yeah for preserve whatever preservative, they say the corpse was reassembled. Then they filled the body. All right, I'm gonna read some more of this. The cavity and fiber of the feathers before coating it with clay. The clay was sculptured and painted so that it resembled faces and other features. Finally, the embalmers placed a wig on the body. Another group of South American Indians embalmed their dead were the Palama, whose culture arose no, who I'm sorry, who culture arose north of where the Chinchorro lived and who were embalming for 4,000 BC. No, I'm sorry, by 4,000 BC. Salt was a major ingredient in the Palama process, and the person was buried in the floor of the house he or she resided in. For a body burial, the knees were drawn up towards the chin and against the chest. The Incas of South America, whose empire was established in what is now Peru in about AD. No, I'm talking 1100 AD, were embalming their dead at least by the 15th century. The pre-colonial Incas embalmers removed the viscera and the internal organs from the body, both the body and the body cavity were then washed and allowed to dry. After this, the body cavity were packed with cloth and allowed to air dry. Once the body was embalmed, it was later mummified. Archaeologists have found traces of chemicals on the remains of the Inca dead, but only powdered cinnabar, a form of mercury, has been positively identified. Cinnabar is a reddish in color, is believed to have had religious significance. Allspice was used by the Mesoamerican tribe to embalm the dead. All right, so it's a decorated textiles with feathers, shells, bells, or paintings. Mesoamerican.
That's embroidery, bro.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, you
Oh,
good.
no. I'm good right there. No. I said decorated textiles with feather, shells, bells, or painting. Mesoamerican embroidery continue to be popular today and is sold throughout the world. Modern needlework continue to use many ancient techniques such as sketching the design on the cloth with a bird quill dipped in indigo, and then sewing the cloth onto a wooden frame on the top of a round basket that serves as an embroidery hoop. The the Nazca of Peru were expert embroiderers. By about 4000 BC, the Nazca culture arose on the coast of in the coast in about 600 BC. The decorative stitches form on borders for huge cloth and were so close together that the backgrounds could not be seen through the design. The embroiders use a flat stitch called the seam stitch to produce their design. By 700 AD, they had begun to practice tape tree. It's a weaving technique using a what's that waff face plane, whatever. It's a weave with discontinuous weft. It's say the vertical fibers on the loom of the different colors that are used to create the patterns. Think the Peru dry southern coast, fine example of the ancient Nazca embroidery and textile exists today. All right. So I ain't gonna touch on it, but there are your sources right there. Um, since I'm touching on it, I just read a little bit on embroidery. Y'all know what embroidery is, basically stitching in the clothing. They saying that this was done in Mesoamerica, South America, and Andean, North America, the Plateau countries, 1800 BC. Embroidery is a technique of embellishing textiles with needlework. It say was developed by many ancient cultures throughout the world. In the Americas, the Maya who lived in what are now Mexico and Guatemala and Nicaragua started in about 1500 BC, are best known for their skills as embroiderers. It say they continue to practice the art today. Archaeologists believe that textile, it's a see also weaving techniques and textile embellishment begin to flourish in Mesoamerica about 1800 BC. All right, so y'all pretty much know what that is. I'm just gonna finish this page right here. Um, Empyema, it's a treatment. All right, so we checked out. It's a thoracic phthisis. So enemas, y'all know what enemas is. An enema is a procedure in which fluid is introduced into the colon and the intestines throughout the rectum. It is used to treat diarrhea, hemorrhoids, constipation, and rectal bleeding. It's not related to hemorrhoids. The Aztec whose empire arose in about 1100 AD in what are now Mexico and part of Mesoamerica. All right. Um, They say were the first positions in the world to use enemas administered with a rubber bulb syringe and a rubber tubbing. They say North American Indians are also administered enemas. Frenchman Pierre Charles Vaux made one of the first reports documenting its use and describing its administration with a syringe in 1721. It's a Virgil Vogel, author of American Indian Medicine, quotes Charles Vaux. It say they have a remedy for the bloody flux. It say which seldom or never fails. It say this is a juice expressed from the extremities and cedar branch after they have been boiled. The Menes, a northeast tribe of the Miminones. Yeah, I think I did something on them before. It's a northeast tribe of North America use enema to treat hemorrhoids. All right, so you say see astringent, latex, medicine, and syringe. The Minimes, I believe they was a gay tribe. That was a gay tribe. They had they was practicing sexual homosexuality amongst their tribe. Um yeah, yeah, I think the Minimes. Yes, yes, exactly. That is the tribe. Yup. They was practicing homosexuality amongst their tribe. They said when Lois and Clark got there, they seen Indians that was basically dressing up like women. They was cross dressing back then.
Man,
So word is bond, yo. The Minimes. That's what it's called, the Minimes. All right. So you know what? How far are we in? All right. So I'm just gonna get off this page and you can start the next page. All right. So efficient housing. This is Epidur. I don't know what the fuck how to pronounce that. Mesoamerican North Contact. I ain't gonna touch on that. I touch on this right here. The Erickson developed stages, American Indian influence. It's say psychologist Erickson theory of human psychosocial development was a groundbreaking theory when it was completed in the 1950s because it broke with Sigmund Freud. So you already know anything dealing with fraudism is some weirdo shit. It's saying indeed the personality is set by the age of 5. The Erickson believed that development was an ongoing process, unlike Freud, they say, who studied the childhood, the neurotic patients. Erickson sought to study the normal childhood. They say he observed an indigenous child rearing practice during years that he spent among the Alala, I guess that's how you put it, Lakota and South Dakota, and the Yurok of California became the basis for 8 development stages that are a cornerstone of child development, psychological today. All right, so it's all yours if you see anything you want to touch on this. Eric
um,
asked, what's an ass?
and the etching acid, yeah, that's pretty dope. I read some of that right quick, man. Yeah, it ain't long anyway, so I go ahead and read that one. All right, we got etching acid, AD 100 to AD 1100, North American Southwest cultures. All right, so we over there by Texas and Cali and all that. Etching is the process of using acid to eat into the surface of a material such as glass or metal. The earliest reference to etching in Europe that historians have discovered is that contained in a description of a coat of armor made in the 1400s. In contrast, the Hohokam, whose civilization flourished starting in about 300 BC and who lived in the desert of what is now Arizona, are believed to be the first people in the world to develop acid etching. The Hohokam used the etching process for artwork that they made from shells. These have been found at Snaketown, their principal village, which is near present-day Phoenix. Although archaeologists are uncertain exactly how the Hohokam achieved the etched designs, experiments conducted at Gila Pueblo have shown that fermented juice from the fruit of the saguaro cactus produces an acetic acid strong enough to eat away shell, which is nearly pure calcium carbonate. Researchers believe the Hohokam first covered shells with pitch to protect certain areas from the acid. Next, the pitch was inscribed, creating a design. The acid dissolved the parts of the shell that were not coated with pitch. The shells were then immersed in acid bath. Finally, the shells were washed in order to remove both the acid and the pitch. So they go a picture of what they talking about. The Hohokam believed to be the first people in the world to invent acid etching used to create designs on shells. So that's pretty dope. Something interesting.
Mhm.
Guess we can go on. I guess I touch on this evaporative cooling right quick. North American Southeast cultures. It says pre-contact. So many American Indian people who lived in hot, humid climates built ramadas or outdoor shades or arbors in the summer. Some of these were made of posts covered with boughs, but others were constructed with elaborate willow frames. Houses in the humid southeast were often raised from the ground and open sided to maximize airflow. The Seminole also had raised sleeping platforms to increase air circulation. On especially hot days when mere air circulation was not enough, the outside walls of these homes' shades were splashed with water so that when the water evaporated, it lowered the temperature at least 10 degrees. Man, that's dope.
Yeah, you want to touch on medical treatment?
Yeah, I can do that. Eyes, medical treatment of, okay. Pre-contact, once again, North American, Northeast, and Great Plains Mesoamerican cultures. All right. American Indians use hundreds of herbs for the treatment of eye problems, including infections and soreness. Their methods included eye drops, eye washes, and eye poultices. The Illinois Miami Indians boiled the bark of white oak, which grows from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico, and used it as an eye wash. After boiling the bark, the resulting mixture was as an astringent with antibiotic properties that proved a very appropriate treatment for eye infections. An excellent eye wash used by the American Indians who lived in what is now Minnesota and south and east of this area was golden seal. This herb has several common names, two of which are eye root and eye balm. The Indians steeped the roots in hot or cold water and used the result as an eye rinse. The choice of using golden seal to treat eye infections was medically appropriate because, like white oak, the herb possesses antibiotic and astringent properties. The Comanche or the Comanche, which is probably the Comanche, who lived on the southern plains of North America, used the prickly poppy as an eye wash. They extracted the sap and applied it to the problem eye. The Shoshone who live in what are now Nevada and Utah pulverized the seeds of the prickly poppy and mixed them with water for an eye poultice. All of these were effective eye treatments. The Aztec, whose empire arose in Mesoamerica in about AD 1100, used mesquite for eye wash. They made mesquite or mosquito in the Aztec language into an eye wash by using the leaves for a tea. Mesquite contains vitamin A, a vitamin critical to eye health. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's deep right there.
Cataract removal, medicine, and pharmacology. So we probably run back into that too. Um,
All right. So you want to touch on fans?
oh yeah, we in the F's now. Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
get on the fans right quick. I remember Hakeem Bay did a build on how they use fans. Um, Fans calculated 1500 BC through AD 1500. Mesoamerican cultures. A fan is a large or small device that can be moved in order to produce a cooling breeze. The Maya, whose culture arose in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico in about 1500 BC, invented the fan independently from the Chinese. The ancient Maya fan was handheld. It was used to produce a cooling breeze for the person holding it. In addition, because oxygen is an accelerant for flames, using a fan will help a fire burn better or hotter. It's common sense.
Hmm. What about Farina? You want to touch on Farina? Farina is like grits. It's like a cereal. Like it's like kind of grits, but it's like people put sugar in it. And like it's not. It's similar to grits, but a lot of people put sugar in it as opposed to like. I mean, people put sugar in their grits too, but I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't really like it because it's sweet. I'm not really into it, but I'll
Yeah.
touch on it if you don't want to touch on it. Um. All right.
Okay.
So.
Oh,
All
look.
right. What?
All right. Farina. That's another pre-contact Mesoamerican, Circumcaribbean, and South American tropical forest cultures. Farina, fine ground meal from cereal grains or vegetable matter, is usually served as a cooked cereal. Hundreds of years before contact with Europeans, American Indians in tropical regions ate farina they made from the manioc or cassava plants. Once they had extracted the moisture from the manioc root, they slowly roasted them. Afterward, they ground them into flour. In this state, the manioc remained edible for several years. Dang, that's major.
Hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
huh?
Farm. What about?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, they got farming, well, terraced farming anyway at 1700 BC. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. People might not know it. Uh, I go ahead and read it right quick. Uh, got a picture of it now. All right, farming terraced calculated 1700 BC, North American, Southwest, Mesoamerican, South American, Andean cultures. Terrace farming allows crops to be grown on hillsides. It makes use of small, flat plots of land held in place with stones to keep soil from washing away. American Indians of South America, Mesoamerica, and the North American Southwest region relied on terrace farming so that they could make the most re, re, the most effective use of land and water in order to maximize crop yields. Terrace farming in the Americas was invented independently of that used by ancient farmers in Mesopotamia. The Olmec, whose culture arose in Mesoamerica in about 1700 BC, were the first in the Americas to practice this way of farming. Although both the Maya, whose culture was established in America in about 1500 BC, and the Aztec, whose empire was established in the same area in about AD 1100, practiced terrace farming. The Inca used it much more extensively. The best known use of terrace farming in the Americas occurred in what is now Peru between 300 BC to 8200. Pre-Inca peoples planted beans, quinoa, and potatoes in plots on the steep slopes of protected valleys. These valleys obtain uh-oh, these valleys obtain okay, now I lost my spot. Hold on. Yeah, these valleys obtain more moisture than the dry table land above them. Pre-Inca farmers used large blocks of UK limestones cut into polygons to hold back the soil. Terrace farming increased over time so that by the start of Inca Empire in about AD 1000, hundreds of acres of terrace surrounded the Inca capital city of Cusco. So yeah, that's just pretty much giving you how it all came about, man. Show y'all the picture, man. What they saying. This is like a picture of the terrace farming on the hills that they was farming on. So it's basically like they just found a way to grow crops on hillsides. You know what I'm saying? So it's major.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Man, what else we got?
This picture right here in Peru. So
Fertilizer. I'll touch on fertilizer real quick.
all right.
All right. So fertilizers, 5000 BC, 3000 BC, or through 3000 BC. So North American, Northeast, and Great Plains, Mesoamerican, South America, Andean culture. Fertilizer is organic matter added to the soil to enrich it, thus producing more abundant crop yield or healthier plants. Indigenous people in the Americas had a variety of fertilizers for thousands of years before Europe. It's the Malpa or ash system of farming that has been practiced from the beginning of agriculture in South Meso and North America, added nutrients to the soil. So y'all know what fertilizer is. They say throughout the experimentation over the years, various tribes developed other fertilizers. By 3000 BC, in what is now Peru, indigenous people were cultivating many types of crops. They fertilized these with the llama dung. It's a anchovy heads and guna. It's or bird droppings from the coastal island. Mountains of these droppings have been disposited or certain coastal areas over the century. The Inca who empire was established in about 1000 AD, regarded to Ghana as a valuable resource, believing it should be shared by all. They divided the deposit into districts, making each area and allowing and no, I'm sorry, and allowing them to to a specific group of farmers. All right, so y'all know what fertilizer is for the most part, and that gave you a good idea. Like we've been doing this over here. All right, so let me see something. So we got fire starters. They see solar fire starter. They probably did it through light, through like the magnifying glass, putting it up in the sun and using it to start fires, fish decay, fishery management, fish hooks. You want to touch on that, or you want me, Jack?
Yeah, it don't matter, bro. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what fish hooks is, but we definitely can just give a little. I guess I'll read about the first paragraph or something. Um, Fish hooks, 5,000 BC to 3,000 BC, North American, Mesoamerican, Circumcaribbean, South American cultures. Indians throughout the Americas constructed fish hooks, curved instruments affixed to a line and put into the water to catch fish. They made them out of several materials. Some were carved from bone, ivory, antler, and wood. A major technological breakthrough occurred around 5,000 to 4,000 BC when the ancient Paleo Indians when the ancient Paleo Indians of the northern Great Lakes area produced a metal fish hook. This was certainly the oldest metal fish hook in the New World, and probably the first metal fish hook in the entire world. Okay. The earliest fish hooks found in South America date between 4,000 and 3,000 BC. These were made of shells and thorns and were used for freshwater fishing. These Paleo Indians also made a unique fish hook called a stone sinker hook. The fish hooks were embedded in the stone sinker. Archaeologists believe that most of the fishing that took place at this time was accomplished with cotton nets. Yeah, so that makes sense. And then they get in about, of course, before they were here, man. So we know fish hooks, man. I know where it's from, man. Just like everything else, almost.
See, mummification. So, gets to the left right here. You got fever medication. See, silicin, field hockey, sea hockey, and field nice. Then you got foul gumbo. Y'all know what gumbo is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Let's go on to the next page. So you got fish icing, and you know we was known for fish icing because they always try to say that the people in Alaska, that's what they do a lot. They like to do a lot of
Right.
basically fish icing.
We got
Um,
Right.
AP with us too, bro.
Fish trapping. We got fish trapping down here. Peace, everybody. Peace. Peace. Ali.
peace, AP.
Peace, AP.
Corey, you want to do that? You want to do that, AP? Fish icing?
Yeah,
Or you?
go ahead. I'll touch on right after you on this fish trap.
All right. So let me see something real quick. All right. So we got fish icing, pre-contact, North America, Northeast culture. Ice fishing is practiced in winter by dropping a line into the water through a hole in the ice and sitting in a small shelter while waiting for the fish to bite. What has become a popular sport today was practiced for centuries by the Great Lake tribe. Excuse me. All right, hold up. Where was I? My bad. By the Great Lake tribes who depended on it for their survival. Unlike modern fishermen, however, they spared the fish. They begin by cutting a hole about 12 inches in diameter diameter and say into the ice. Next, they built a small shelter over the hole. This was just large enough to cover the fisher head and a and I'm sorry and chest. Damn, I'm falling asleep. Y'all. I don't know what the hell. I'm tired as hell. Saying chest when he was laying down on the ice to peer into the hole. All right, so y'all know what fish icing is. All right, we got fishing chemicals, um, fish nets, um, we got fish traps. I mean, do anybody want to touch on any of these I'm passing? Because I was just going to read through them till we get to the next page.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Let's go ahead and kind of run through these right quick.
So you got
So yeah,
fish
you're right.
traps. Y'all know what fish traps pretty much is, a device constructed in hollow water in order to catch large number of fish or lobsters. They say the fish find it easy to swim into these traps, but difficult to exit them. In effect, they are obstacle courses like the ancient people throughout the world who depended on the fish as well as mainstays of their diets. Say several American Indian tribes constructed I mean constructed this with an efficient method of fishing that requires a little labor. All right, so I ain't gonna keep on going. We're just gonna keep it moving from here. Next up the back. Next AP, come on.
All right. So what we got after that?
It's
Sewing devices. Oh no,
Flint
my bad.
napping.
Flint napping. My bad. So we'll run through this real quick. Uh, Actually, it's 11,000 BC. 11,000 BC, which is roughly a little bit over 13,000 years. North America, Mesoamerica, South American, Paleo Indian. Flint napkin is a practice of shaping spear and arrow points and razor sharp knife blades from flint, obsidian, chert, or quartz, fine grind, hard stones that can be flaked and produce a sharp edge. American Indians developed the technology of flint napkin independently of other ancient cultures throughout the world. Paleo Indians once mined flint from areas such as the Wonder, the Brownsville, Ohio. The broken chunk from the stone by driving wooden wedges into natural occurring cracks. It is the deposit of large rocks called hammerstones. Flint miners shape these chunks into cores. Next, they use smaller hammerstones and chip smaller pieces called blanks. Excuse me. So yeah, I ain't gonna read all this, y'all, but yeah, man, y'all see it. Flint napkin. So yeah, I'm gonna show a depiction of. Wait, can you see it? Is you screen sharing? Yeah, a Mayan raised flint napkin. Let me see my bad. I was reading what it showed up under the depiction of what it looked like. So all these had little intricate, little sharp edges. And like I said, the Mayan raised flint napkin and an art creating intricate blades such as this one. Flint work of this style was probably used for ceremonial purposes. So, that's just a depiction of it. And like I said, we got floodplain forming, and also floating devices. I don't know if any of you brothers want to go in on the floating devices.
Yeah, it's up to y'all, man. We know they basically floaties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Little
Pre-contact,
floaty.
of course. Yeah. Um, fall metal.
Right, you can go in on the floor on that. Or we can just keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? People pretty much already know what that is. It's just showing you that we was using these things
$1,900.
pre-contact. We've been using fall metal since 19 BC all the way up to 1400 BC.
Right.
So let's get into it. Foot plows, which is something that you use doing for landscaping and agriculture techniques, which is that's going back 8,000 BC. You know what I mean? Which is foot bag. Also, is one of the ones that you see. Foot bag, food instant or instant foods, right? That's something that you can see in the other details. Foot bag is something that y'all probably seen inside your high school. They call it hacky sack. Same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, we got forceps. Anybody want to go in on the forceps?
Yeah, I'll read it right quick.
All right, go ahead.
I guess I do like how the first two paragraphs.
Right,
Mm. Forceps calculated AD 1200, South American and Andean Mesoamerican cultures. Forceps are medical instruments used for grasping and manipulating or extracting objects or human tissue. The Inca, whose empire was established in what are now Peru and Bolivia in about AD 1000, made and used forceps for surgical purposes prior to contact with Europeans. Archaeologists speculate that the Inca used these medical tools to remove bone fragments from the head following traumas, such as being hit on the head with a stone, mace, club, or a stone from a sling. Um, it say the goal of much of the ancient warfare in South and Mesoamerica was not to kill enemies, but to disable them and capture them live. Okay. Let's say brain surgery called trephination. Trephination was common in Meso and South America. Doctors are depicted using forceps in some of the pictures on Mesoamerican pottery, murals, and pictographs, leading anthropologists to believe that Aztec physicians used these medical instruments as well. And of course, we know the Aztec was AD 1100. This book always like whenever they mention the Aztec, the Mayan, or the Olmecs, the Aztec or 1100 AD, the Inca or 1000 AD, and the Mayans go back. I think they said 300 BC, something like that. So they like to give you that a lot, but I'm gonna keep reading right quick. One such portrayal shows an ancient dentist with forceps in hand working in the mouth of a patient. The it's a see also dentist. The development and use of forceps and scalpels demonstrates a high level of American Indian medical knowledge and technology prior to contact with Europeans. That was pretty heavy, man. They got a lot more on it, but we're just trying to make sure
right.
we do it, man, because that one's pretty loaded up.
Yeah, that's right. And then I touch on forest management. North America, Northeast, Southeast, subarctic, Great Plains, and California cultures. Um, Forest management. American Indian peoples were well aware that forests and wildlife that lived in them thrive best when they were managed wisely. Although the land and Europeans encountered when they set foot in North America for less tame than that of the Europe. It was not the vast, wild, and unattended expanding history books describe American Indian had been deliberately shaping the character of the forest for centuries before they began the practice of agriculture thousands of years before they arrived of non-Indians. So yeah, man, we was the reason the forests look the way they look is because we molded it to look like that. In other words, is what it's telling you. Forest management.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's definitely deep. We'll definitely have to touch on that one. No. What else we got up here? Foxglove. You want to go in just briefly on that a little bit?
Yeah, we can go. I can go in there a little bit. I think that's a it's certain type of plant. Um, Foxglove, of course, pre-contact North American Northeast. So North American Indians used the American foxglove plant to treat heart disease. The American foxglove is also known as finger flower or fairy fingers, lady's glove, dead man's bell, purple foxglove, dog's finger, and folks glove. The active ingredients in American foxglove that act upon the heart and glycosides. These glycosides diminish the volume of the heart by increasing the strength of the contraction. They also increase the output of blood that the heart pumps, thereby improving circulation, slow the pulse rate, and slow the conduction of nerve impulses in the heart that regulate that organ's rhythm. Additionally, foxglove is a diuretic that causes the body to rid itself of excess fluid. In modern times, Digitalis, a popular heart medication prescribed for congestive heart failure, has been synthesized from foxglove. Mm. Say the American foxglove, like its European counterpart, is very toxic and has been known to cause nausea, rashes, and headaches when it comes in contact with bare skin. Okay, so in order for foxglove to work effectively, it needs to be given in near lethal doses. How the North American Indians discovered the cardiotonic effects of American foxglove and were able to determine the precise therapeutic dose is unclear. Non-Indian physicians reported that the Indians were using it for heart disease in the 1700s, much like the digitalis is used today, but those sources do not mention specific tribes. In his book, American Indian Medicine, Virgil Vogel cites a later source writing, Dr. Harlow Brooks praised the Indians for their knowledge of laxative, diuretic, emetic, and febrifuge drugs febrifuge drugs, and added that the American variety of foxglove was correctly used by them for its cardiac stimulant properties for hundreds of years before. Withering discovering digitalis in England, it is highly probable Indians had been using foxglove long before European contact. And that's major. They see also dog, bane, and wahoo, so they're probably doing the same thing. And tell you, man, these herbs, man, if you know what you're doing, you got real fresh herbs, man. So we got to get on, man. I've been on it. Uh, Anything else you see, man, you might want to, anybody want to touch on the free association? Well, I guess I'll go into it a little bit. Well, we know what free association is, but
All right, so hold up. What you want? You want to go on? Said
My bad.
free
I'm sitting here talking.
association and freeze drying.
yeah, free associate, then free freeze drying next. Um,
And I go in right after go ahead, A1. You can touch
All
on
right,
that.
all right, so hold up. Let me see something. All right, I'm gonna go on freeze drying. I ain't free. And also, when we get down here, we got fringe clothing. So I mean, one of y'all want to touch on that one
Yeah,
because
I
Yeah, I
that's
got
go
key.
some. Oh,
one
AP.
Matter
of
of fact, let me just look. I'm gonna just read this one article on freeze drying, and then we can go right in on that. All right. And actually, you know what? I'm sitting a bit dozing off. You know, I'm tired as hell, but let's get through this. All right. So freeze drying. 1000 AD, South American Indian culture. Freeze drying, which give food a shelf life of several years, work through a practice called sublimitation. Sorry, it's a when solids and materials such as ice changes directly into a gas without first going through the liquid state. Moisture is removed from the food or whatever substance is being freeze dried. Freezing allowed the object to retain the original shape. The the absence of water makes no the absence the, I'm sorry the absence of water makes it difficult for microorganisms to live in the food. To stop the chemical changes association with spoilage, freeze drying helps food to remain much. I mean, help food to retain much of its flavor. All right, so y'all pretty know what that is, man. We're gonna go touch on French clothing. One of y'all gonna go in on that?
Yeah, I go in on fringe clothing. Pre-contact, North America, Northeast, Great Plains, and California culture. Fringe, a decorative border of hanging stripes, often a feature of the hide. Clothing worn by Indians of many North American tribes because of sewing tanned hides into garments was a time-consuming uh, adventure. American Indians' clothing patterns were simple and came about as a compromise between the shape of the potential wearer's body and the shape of the hides being used for a particular garment. Often, garment makers did not trim the hides, having sewing seams, and the excess leather was cut into fringes instead. If there was enough surplus hide for fringing, they might sew a band of fringes into a garment after it was completed. Sometimes they have tongs into garments. Excuse me. Excuse me. In pairs in order to simulate long fringes. This form of edging was a popular ornamentation on the bottoms and the shoulders of shirts and along the side seams of leggings, right? Leggings, ain't shit, people want today, females anyway. Sometimes the strands were decorated with seeds and shells after contact with European American Indians decorated fringes with beads. So yeah, that pretty much covered the fringes right quick. Fringe clothing. Let's go on down. We in the G now. We in the G now. Is it over with? We done? Or we gonna go to H?
Hold up. Yeah, we gonna hold up. Nah, hold up. Read the other side.
Read the other side.
Yeah. Why not? Cause remember, they believe fringes like the Jews. Remember the Jews now? These aesthetic Jews? They wear fringes on their clothing. So they had to get that shit from here. If you ever see the Hasidic Jews, they be having the white fringes on it. So that'll prove to you that they stole that shit from here. So if in the Bible the Israelites was wearing fringes, that go to show, huh?
I was
So that
agreeing with you. Yeah,
so in the Bible, if the Israelites wear fringes, that'll explain why we found all the Hebrew writing in North America.
fact.
Okay, so now it's telling you that the fringe clothing begin. Why would fringe clothing begin in North America? Even though they say it'll help the clothes dry, help your clothes dry faster, but nonetheless, though, we not told this shit. So how the fuck did the Jews? How did the fake Jews that live in Jerusalem? How the fuck did they get the fringes? Because they got all that shit from here. That's
Right.
why they got all that shit from the Americas. And then, like they said, these idiots, a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, they believe they was brought here on fucking ships and shit, instead of them being shipped out of here on ships and then being brought back here with yokes and shit like that. They don't even understand the history of it. They don't believe that Egypt was in the Americas. Lower Egypt is, I believe, in Central and South America. So I mean, if you want to touch on that, and that'll be very beneficial to what we're doing here.
Yeah, I absolutely will. I'll get right back to that right there as we speak. So the style of fringe ward depend on the tribe. The Kaawa and the Comanche who lived on the southern plains wore long twisted fringes, often gathered into bunches. The long-heeled fringes worn by southern plains dwellers were presumably to erase the tracks of the water. I mean, of the where he walked. The Blackfoot, Cheyenne, and Crow of the northern plains also tend to wear long twisted fringes on their garments. The other North Plains people tended to wear long straight fringes. The American Indians of the East Woodlands generally wore garments with shorter fringes so that they would not become tangled in underbrush. The buckskin or prawns of males in some California tribes were were partially fringed in order to provide ventilation in the warm climate. Okay, got one more paragraph, y'all. Y'all bear with me. European fur traders and earlier settlers quickly adopted fringes, buckskin shirts, jackets, leggings as their own. These fur trappers addressed the hide in their own trapping and copied the tradition of the Indian style in dress that they invented and encountered on their travels. Typically, mountain man attire in the early 1800s included a t-shirt, leggings, and were wear over a breechcloth. Sometimes long fringe that decorated shirt and leggings consist of individual tones that had been pushed into the seams and knotted on the inside. The men believed that these fringes served to drain water from their garments in storms. They wore so much fringe that the Indians of some tribes called them fringe people. Today, modern fashion designers often decorate leather garments such as jackets and fringe. Although the popularity of the style and ornaments waxes and wanes with fashion trends, it has endured for centuries. Also, moccasins, tanning, brain, and trousers were invented by the Indians as well.
Now you see that there? That's in the Bible. Now how that get in the Bible if the shit originated in Americas?
Facts,
Right.
man.
That's something you got. Man, that's something you got to start asking yourself.
That's
We
right.
we just went over embalmification. They just said it was made in America. How the fuck was embalmification made in America if the Egyptians were supposed to be doing it first? Because they got that shit from here. That's the reason why you find the coca leaves inside a lot of these fucking mummies. Yo, the gig is up, man. I mean, like I said, and yo, we got 62 people watching this, man. Share this fucking video, y'all. People want to know their culture. I mean, motherfuckers be making bullshit ass videos about superheroes and shit, and niggas be watching this shit, be all up and watching that shit, right? I mean, it's a culture right here. You know what I'm saying? So whether or not people are interested or not, though, we should still have more people watching this. I mean, I appreciate the 62 people that is in, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, we putting in the work trying to get this culture out there, man. And for the most part, like I said, I could be up here thumbing my fingers. I could be thumb wrestling with a turtle. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, man, people need to start supporting, especially the content. If the content is correct, we sitting up here going word for word. We're gonna finish the whole encyclopedia. What page are we on? Matter of fact, we on
This is what we starting on
132.
the week now. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So shout out to AP for that, man. And like I said, remember, they tell you fringes. How the fuck do we got fringes in so-called Jerusalem? If it be, and we know that ain't even Jerusalem over there. We know Jerusalem is in Peru.
Right.
And I believe that now after reading this, and like I said in the video we did 2 weeks ago when we was talking about the Descala stones that was found in Delaware, as well as the the Descala stones that was found in Delaware. It also told you that the oldest commandments was found in Delaware too. So now it all starting to make sense. You know what I'm saying? I touch on this dice games, all right? All right, so dice games. Pre-contact North American, Mesoamerican culture. Games, I'm sorry, games of chance playing by throwing dice. Small objects with different markings on each side were part of many ancient cultures throughout the world. American Aborigines were no exception. Nearly every indigenous American culture played dice games. The dice they used were made out of many material, including shell, peaches, plums, pits, grains, and corn. Corn, beans, pottery dishes, walnut shells, beaver or woodchuck teeth, bone stirves, and wooden blocks, among others. In most cases, the dices were marked on two sides. Indians tossed the dice by hand in some games and placed them into a bowl or basket. In others, dice games using baskets was usually played by women. Many of the American Indian dice games were ceremonial in nature and usually played by men. All right, so matter of fact, now I'm gonna keep it going. So see, dice games were played by keeping count with a stick that passed from player to player, depending on the throw. Other games resemble modern board games. See, we listen, listen. Ain't nothing that these devils out here that market. They created nothing. Everything they marketed, they got from you. Everything. Who the fuck play dice right now to this day on the damn streets? Okay? I mean, all the pity pat, all these games we find basketball, field hockey. Come on now, these motherfuckers ain't creating nothing. They stole everything. They stole everything and marketed it back to your ass. And now your ass got to get up and go to work. You showed them how to farm. You showed them how to plant food. Now you're dumb. Now our dumb asses, we got to fucking go to work for the food on our own land. So like I said, man, it goes to show, man. It goes to show like who is the real pawn in this whole game. All right. So let me see. I'll read a little bit more. All right. So look, South games resemble board games. It say it was played by counting boards for every score. Gambling was frequently a part of dice game. An example of the American Aborigine dice game in that of fox and geese, played for hundreds of years. And Inuit in the North America Arctic, and new people living near the present day community of Point Barrow, Alaska, fashioned duck, geese, and fox out of ivory. The duck and geese were about 1 3/4 inches long. The fox were about 2 3/4 inches long. The fox was made with 4 legs so that it could stand. The ducks and geese were shaped, with flat belly. Oh, excuse me, y'all. So that they could land upright and say without the aid of legs. The purpose of the games was to accumulate most of the points by throwing the ivory ducks and geese into the air, and then knotting how no, and then knotting how they landed. The player who had the most duck and geeses in upright position was awarded points. Another version of the games used carved figures in the shape of men, women, and waterfowl. Those that landed in the standing position were awarded to the person that was facing. Let me go. I'm gonna go read. Oh, it's almost over with. That was facing. The game was played until one player had all the dice and the other had none. All right, so man, that'll tell you right there, man. Um, I'm gonna read this one right here, yo. Games foot bag. All right, it's called hacky sack. All right, so North
So,
American hacky sack, hacky sack. Yeah, North American Great Plain coasters. Foot bag games involve using feet or the feet, head, or arms. It say to keep the softball in the air. Hacky sack is a hold up. You know what the fuck the hacky sack is? You ever see the little bean bag and motherfuckers be kicking that shit back and forth? You ever see jokers play bean bag?
right at the high school, they should do
It,
it at the high school.
exactly. So that's pretty much what it's saying. Like, all right, so it's a hacky sack is a modern version of a foot bag game, which we just talked about, the bean bag. It's a women and girls and a number of North American Aborigine tribes routinely played these games. The ball that they used were about 6 and 7 inches in diameter and was stuffed with deer, antelopes, or buffalo hair. It say they were covered with buckskin by the Inuit of the Arctic and the Cayenne and Mandan of the plains, sometimes decorated with buckskin, covered with elaborate quill work. It say and after European contact beadwork, the groves, ventry, Asina, and crow covered the animal fur with a bladder netted with sinew. All right. Um, Maxi Miller, Prince of Weird in Germany, who in 1832 through 34 observed women playing the sports, gave this description in the tunnel in the interior of North America. The women are experts in playing with a large leathern ball, which they let fall alternately on their foot and knee, again throwing it up and catching it, and thus keeping in motion for a length of time without letting it fall to the ground. Prizes was given for the winner. The Arab Pro and the Cayenne women played the game somewhat differently. No, somewhat differently. In this version of the game, the ball had a thong attached to them. Among the Arab Praha, and young women would hold the thong in her hand while throwing and catching the ball. The Cayenne woman held the 2-inch thong in their hand and kicked the ball. The game goal was to kick the ball as many times as possible without missing it. All right. So y'all, man, listen, bro. We invented everything. These motherfuckers, man. And I don't mean to curse, man, but this shit is aggravating, man. It's aggravating that these people ain't creating nothing. The only thing they did was steal every culture that they could find and try to market the shit to the best of their ability. So they marketed they stole all the culture, then marketed, you know what I'm saying, and then got people out here, you know what I'm saying, that you can't even gamble. But they can fucking set up casinos and shit and then give you back the casinos and let you gamble in them. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. So one of y'all want to keep it moving, man.
Word,
Right.
man. That's real though, cause
Go ahead, Jack.
like you say,
You can't
man.
even gamble. You can't even fucking gamble. These devils, they so fucking greedy that they fucking you created the shit. And all they do is market everything and just take it and then fucking sell it back to you. And then you go to Atlantic City, and go play dice and go play games in which you was already playing with your tribe. See how stupid we is? And we don't even know. We don't even know the culture. We think these people created shit, everything they got, from the car to the air conditioner to mummification to dice game to basketball to hockey to soccer to all this shit. Everything that we touching on, they ain't create nothing. They ain't create nothing. These people in culture and robbed us for all our culture, and they got your ass out here, like I said, working for them, fucking going to these casinos, spending your money, going on fucking trips. That's why I would never go to no fucking casino ever again. Like after reading this, I won't ever go to no fucking casino. I'm not never gonna give these motherfuckers my money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't give a fuck who want to go there. I don't give a fuck a wife, girl, whatever. I'm not going to no fucking casino. And that's why I say when you read this shit right here, you gotta kind of separate yourself from the 85ers, man. Because you know what I'm saying? And it's sad because you can't teach nobody this. And you lose relationships and friendships with people because you are not because you are kind of enlightened, and this shit is it's not even fun. It's not even fun knowing, you know what I'm saying? It's not sometimes it's not even fun being conscious, man. Or being awoke. It's not even fun, man. It's not even fun sometimes. Like even to this day, I wish I wasn't even woke, man. I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm glad I am, but sometimes I wish I wasn't, man, because the shit hurt. It hurts. I'm never going. I'm not the same. The only way I can be the same is by reprogramming myself back to the same fuckery that I just deprogrammed myself from.
You're not gonna be able to do that.
That's right. I ain't gonna let some motherfucker put a chip in me. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, man, y'all see this yourself. And that's why I say this is very epic, man, because like I said, man, other niggas ain't doing this, man. Jokers is making stupid ass videos in which I don't even watch TV. So I mean, to each his own who do watch TV. It's nothing on TV that I desire to watch. Nothing. Except maybe I like basketball. I ain't going to the front. But basketball not on. So that's about the only thing I watch. I ain't football, I could care less about. But for the most part, basketball is something that I definitely like. And when it comes to sports, I watch or whatever. Because like I said, I still appreciate the athleticism and the skills that require in playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I don't watch TV. And to each his own. If you do watch TV, I ain't knocking you. I'm just telling you what I don't do. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is not even fun for me no more. I didn't been there and done that. But I mean, I ain't mean to go on a rant though, but this go to show you after reading this, after running through this encyclopedia, these people ain't creating nothing. These people is the fucking biggest crooks and criminals on the fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? And like they marketed all of your stuff, they marketed, and now our dumb asses out here fucking working. We working for these people, and we know this. That's man. I mean, like I said, man, go proclaim your nationality, man. You know what I'm saying? And stop. Like if you, like I said, for the most part, if you come to these channels, and I see that a lot of people be serious about so-called proclaiming their nationality, or at least trying to, man. That should be the first order of the day, man. Nothing should be more important than you. And like I said, you can go ahead and proclaim your nationality because you pretty much know what you are. If you want to go back and do your ancestry at some point in time, then that's cool. But for the most part, you already know you're American Aboriginal. That's why you got that term black put on you. That term black was only for the fucking American Indians. That's the reason why you don't see that term black. That's why other people, when they come here, they don't respond to that. They do respond to it because they want to be like us. But for the most part, they got a nationality. We are the people who lost. We Civitan Montus. We're dead in the eyes of civics. We still running around here trying to catch up with our own culture. And like I said, we make these videos. Look, man, I don't be improvising. I mean, I don't be stressing nobody the like, hit the like button, or none of that shit. I don't do none of that clown shit because that shit is not important. Whether you hit the like button or not, the video's still gonna go out. I don't care if I get 3 or 4 likes. I really don't care. I've been called to make these videos, and I'm gonna continue on making them. Until the fucking breath leave my body, or until I feel as though it's not no longer needed. Enough people know about what's pretty much going on. So, with that being said, I'm not gonna rant no more. Somebody else you want to touch on this shit? This shit is making me sick to my fucking stomach.
Man, that's why I say, man, I mean, we can't really stress and emphasize enough how important, these videos we doing right now from this one book, because it's actually, what I'm saying, it's readjusting
Right.
everything. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people like with the fringes, you know what I'm saying? Some people really take heed of that in that Bible. You know what I'm saying? They really think that, that's what represents the tribes, you know what I'm saying? And they really think that stuff come from Europe, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, when you really want to know the truth about any religion, you got to do the history about it. And you got to know what they talking about, where it came from, who said it, when did they say it, who told them, and so on, man.
So let me ask you a question, Jaguar, on man.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did these fake Jews get the fucking fringes from? Cause they say us wearing them over here.
Man, I think they got it from us, bro. That's the thing. And they rewrote, like, I think from man, you got to think. Okay, they wrote the Bible what 1611, right? Well, that's when it was produced to the public in 1611. So before then, they looking at all the stuff we got and everything we got, and they're like, yo, how are we gonna say that we did all this shit? You know what I'm saying? And created a Bible and gave it to us. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting out of it. And you got these Jews who created what they want to say is older than the Bible to say that what they doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a big game, man, for them to keep us confused so they can keep acting like us.
See? And that's what I try to tell people. You run around here, you know what I'm saying, playing games with yourself. At least proclaim your nationality. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. You know you're American Aborigine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm out here, like I said, I'm willing to help people. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's the reason trying to get this documentary out. Even though YouTube, you can get just as many views on YouTube as I can with this documentary, but I want to put this documentary out there or on a mainstream platform, just like hitting colors and rattle these motherfucking cages. Because you see what you created, you see what you been fucked out of, what parts are not. Then they took the same drugs from the land, gave it to your ass, and put us and rocked us to sleep for 20, 30 years.
Fact.
And people still to this day is like in the slumber. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, I urge people, man, look, I know, like I said, I used to smoke weed, and right now I am practicing my sobriety. I feel wonderful just to be able to think and have a mind and peace of mind. To no offense to nobody who do it, keep doing what you do. I'm just telling you, I'm telling you what I do. Okay, this ain't no fucking cult. I don't want no followers. I mean, I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to do is just help people. If this information resonates towards you, then, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, take the information and you build with it and you can do what you want to do with it. But for the most part, we got to start, man, we got to start asking yourself, don't call me black. Don't call me Negro. Don't call me African American. Don't call me color. Don't call me none of that shit, because these are all terms that these people created to put you under. All of them. All of them. So every term that you use that they created, that makes you their property. I ain't nobody property but my own self. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, man, you take the power from them and you put the power in your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people don't know how serious this shit is. Like, we making these videos, like, this is serious, bro. I mean, because you done been fucked out of your nationality and been told you from a whole nother continent. They put these other agents out there to keep you fucking fighting for other people. You know what I'm saying? That really, like I said, if we had the territory back to us, these people wouldn't be just crossing over no fucking border like that. They will be getting their ass wish-washed. They will be getting washed. If they was to come over here and cross the border, they would be getting washed because we wasn't playing that shit neither. We
Right.
was not playing that. You wasn't coming across no border into our territory, setting up shop. But you know, some of these sellout aborigines did, and they allowed these Europeans. And like I showed in the 4th of July, how in the Revolutionary War, how you had different tribes that was fighting with the British, and you had different tribes that was fighting with the Americans.
Right.
I'm telling you, where do you fit at in this? Everybody ain't innocent in this shit. Everybody, like I said, everybody not innocent in this shit. Some people answer, and then most of the people who ancestors did sell them out, we know, because them was the ones that was educated in the early 1900s. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because they was all part of all these fucking boulets and these secret societies in which their family got a form of nepotism to where it followed them and preceded them when they was born.
Right.
So you had a son, your father was part of one of the boule or one of these organizations, then his son would be part of it. And his son,
Right.
like I said, don't even understand. Just like the story of Buddha, how Buddha how Buddha asked his father, is everybody rich like we are outside of the kingdom? He told him, yeah. He ventured outside the kingdom and realized everybody was poor. People were starving, people was robbing each other, people was doing all this horrific stuff just to get the stuff that they had. Just like today what we doing. So Buddha decided, he said, look, I'm going a path of enlightenment. And for, I believe it was 7 years, he sat under a damn tree and meditated and ate things that'll make a billy goat throw up. All right. But he was able to remove himself from that. And at the end of the day, that might be a true story or it might be an allegory. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like I said, I take from the life, man. That's why I'm not sitting up here arguing about none of this clown shit. People will be out here. Oh, the Moors. Nigga, we're Moors. Moors are a dark skin complexion person according to them. According to them. So stop saying the Moors are individual groups or, oh no, you had individual different. They called us black Moors more. And that's why I say I don't even get into it, man. Because a lot of people with the Aboriginal community, they don't fucking understand this shit. They just don't get it. They just don't get it. I did the research. I see myself what I see. And no one can tell me what my interpretation is. I don't have no room for debate no more. Don't come to my channel with the bullshit because I'm tired, man. Because people don't even want to people don't want to do their ancestry. You lazy as fuck. You don't want to declare your nationality. So what the fuck you want to do? You want to watch YouTube videos? That's it. So and watch YouTube videos and oh, this is just another source of entertainment. If that's the case, then you might as well go back and watch Power. Go back and watch Love and Hip Hop. Go back and watch all this foolery that motherfuckers trying to get away from. I'm trying to get away from that bullshit. I don't want to be with none of that lower level, none of that lower level, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm better than you, or knocking. I'm on top of the hill looking down. All my people poor. What good is it that I'm riding around in a damn Phantom or a Range Rover, or a Rolls Royce Phantom, and then everybody else poor? But as long as I'm the head nigga in charge, oh shit, He got all the money. Oh, I got more money than you.
Right.
Just so I can sit on my own people, and my people been programmed. They've been fucking they've been decultured. I mean, they had their culture stripped from them. What the fuck is the point? What's the fucking point? What's the point at the end of the day? Oh, I guess we all know now, huh? Nah. The Thompsonist one, like I said, I didn't did all this shit. I didn't declare my nationality. And like I said, I'm gonna rattle some more cages with these videos. We went in, we touched on a lot of different things. Some of these videos, I'm gonna remake them again or whatever. But for the most part, man, people, man, you gotta really, I'm not doing this shit for my health. All right. I'm not doing it for my health. You know what I'm saying? Whether you hit the like button, whether you buy a t-shirt, whether you fucking donate, I'm gonna continue to do this. But if you do, support your boy so we can get this documentary out and we can reach much more people than what we reaching now. So with that being said, when y'all brothers want to go ahead, man, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh yeah, man. Yes, I mean that's what we need, man. You know, people need to hear the raw, the real, and the straightness. You know, we got to set the record straight, man, especially as men, because you know it'd be a lot of things that we deal with and have to put up with, man, that we shouldn't really have to, and it's just a lot to it, man. When it's like you say, when you know all of this and you studying and you really trying to get down to the real source of what's gonna, give you the clarification of what you supposed to be doing, how you supposed to be doing it, and who you really are, man. Like this is what you're really supposed to be in tune with this information for. If you're not, you probably just brain dead running off adrenaline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And look, let me just touch on one more thing, my brother. Look, that's why even when you know the history, you see that they were just bringing more Europeans, That's why all the Europeans own the fucking land. That's why they own all the land. That's why they own all the land, and we fucking poor as hell. And you working for them. You working for them. They own land. 90% of them. That's like, man, I was in class one day and this fucking devil, he gonna sit there and show me his land that he owned in Montana. I said, where you get that land from? Who told you could have that land? Oh, he bought it. Oh, he bought it from another European. He bought, and that's why I say, man, that's why I don't have no respect for none of these. Everybody outside of the Aborigines that's on this land are all illegals. All of them. All of them. And the more disrespecting part is how these people call themselves Americans. How the fuck are you an American? You done stole people culture and now you claiming to be them? And then they get so, you know what I'm saying, they just be so happy about it. And I just be looking like, man, like real talk. Like y'all don't, and then a lot of people know the history and they still be like this. So you know that the Europeans, because we get all these articles that I be reading, be written most of the time by Europeans. So they already know. If they telling you, oh, the European. I wanted the European who wrote this article telling you that the Europeans came here and took the land. Where do that put you at? Who did you come here with? Are you ancestors of these same Europeans that came here and stole shit? Oh, nah, you ain't got nothing to do with that, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like I said, that's the same thing with some of us as Aborigines. We sold each other out. So you ain't no better than no fucking the Moors that's brought Columbus over here, or you ain't no better than so-called Moors that niggas always banging on, because you don't even know who the fuck you are. All right, man. Let's keep it moving, man. I digress.
That's real, man. I mean,
that's real.
Man, you gotta look at it,
all the work that you done did, Al, Powell, everybody. To me, this book right here is just nothing but clarification of what we've been studying, man. We already know how to dodge the hijack, but this book don't have much hijack in it, besides calling you an Indian. That's it.
And if you don't know what the Indians look like, go back and look at my video. I done showed you. I done showed you none of these fucking. And then, like I said, we're not them Indians with no war bonnets, and we wasn't even wearing feathers like that. So I mean, like real talk, to keep it real. When like I said, I start in Virginia. The motherfuckers in Florida and Virginia. Well, even if we want to talk about the people in the Caribbean. Columbus took them back. They was called Negros de Terra. That's one thing. The Portuguese, they was coming over here having babies with the aborigines that was in Brazil. That's the reason why to this day, if you watch any documentaries about Brazil, you will see that they still are encouraging white men to sleep with black women. And then we don't even understand it. We don't even understand it. And that's why I say, man, like, I mean, it's just a cold world, man, when you really look at it and you really see that, like, to each individual, you're in this on your own. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I got all this knowledge and shit, though, but my other half, she don't care two fucks about this shit. She don't get two fucks about this shit. And I can't even reach her. And that's the sad part about it. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just putting my personal business out there and let you know. Like, I'm sitting up here, I can have almost 14,000 subscribers though, but I can't even subscribe to the people who close to me. You understand what I'm saying? People don't care about this shit. People just go, oh well, I'm going to work tomorrow. So I can get more materialism. So I can work, so I can get more materialism, so I can work and buy my own land back from people who stole the land. Right. How the fuck that works? How the fuck that works? You ain't gonna let me go in your fucking pocket. Then if that's the case, I'm gonna go in your fucking pockets, take your money out, and then I'm gonna say, all right, well, you want this, buy it back from me. You ain't gonna let me do that though. You ain't gonna let me do that. But you gonna argue and fight with me if you see anybody even arguing with any of these motherfuckers or even saying anything. You gonna sit there and say, why you doing that? Or why you arguing with? And it's always, like I said, these Uncle Toms and these Uncle Tomettes that be rolling like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we ain't never gonna get nowhere as a people. When the Most High come back, or when whatever energy or whatever you believe in, when that time come, he's only gonna call a special amount of people, and it might not even be me. It might not even be me. It might be some of the other people who don't expect to be called. So I'm not sitting there like, oh, I'm going on that route. I don't know where I'm going. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I'm just trying to do my part right here to take back our history, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, yo, check the brother Aline Bay out, man, please. Aline Bay made a video called Naturalization last week. Yo, I don't want to hear about that. He's a Moor. If don't comment, and especially if it's one of the subscribers, if you say anything about the Moor, just unsubscribe from my fucking channel, yo. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling anybody out there who don't like it or whatever, check the brother Aline Bay out. The brother Aline Bay deal with metaphysics. He deal with health. If you check his video out, he was telling you that you cannot be no Moors is not a motherfucking nationality. He said I'm naturalized with the Washitors. He's part of the Washitors. He's not part of no Moor science community. And if you listen to what he was saying, he was going in on them.
Right.
And he's telling you. And he got the undrip and the A drip. He going over that as well and reading the parts out, saying you have a right to go back. We already went through a man, Chief Holiday. I believe it's, I don't know, a couple of months, maybe a month and a half, or maybe a month ago. We went through the whole thing, man. We went through the whole thing. While niggas making videos about superheroes and shit, we giving you straight material. I ain't up here buck. I don't make a video if it's not nothing worth talking. If it's not nothing that's going to educate you, I'm not making no personal videos of my personal preference, man. I'm not decoding no movies. I'm not doing none of that shit because I don't watch that shit for that. That shit is that's the person who interpretation, or that's your opinion on what your belief is. But for the most part, I'm just trying to tell you, people who you can get ahead with, go ahead and check the brother Aline Bay out. I'm telling you. Check him out.
Right.
He got a lot of good information with health, with breathing practices, with nature, with herbs. Like I said, I fuck with him heavy, man. And like I said, to each his own, man. I'm just telling you where I derive some of my knowledge from, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, knowledge is infinite. And if you wanna be ahead of the game, man, I suggest do not be prejudiced when it comes to this knowledge. Because guess what? You got motherfuckers out here who will read these European books. You'll read fucking what's the shit called? Tom Sawyer or what? No, what's the shit called?
You
Huck
said
Finn. Thomas. You'll read Huck
Tom
Finn.
Sawyer.
Tom's. You know what I'm saying? You'll read that type shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll read that type of shit and get a message from it. But then when somebody tell you somebody good to where, like I said, I'm a student of life. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I deal with the metaphysics, I deal with the breathing practices, I deal with meditations and trying to, you know what I'm saying, like me and the brother Jaguar, we was talking about yesterday. I cleanse my pineal gland, and my ultimate goal is to fight the four devils, which is envy, lust, hate, and greed. You understand what I'm saying? We always trying to fight them. That's a constant battle for some of us.
Right.
We lusting, we greed, we envious, we hate. That's a constant thing for some of us. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, over the last couple of months that, you know what I'm saying, that I haven't been under the influence of marijuana, I seen a lot of things in which I had to really step back and just put my hand on my chin and just look like, man, just shaking my head. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, like I said, it's been a long time, man. So, like I said, man, I urge people to study, man. Study, 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 study. Study yourself. Then come back and study the world. What do I mean by study yourself? You're not perfect. You got imperfections that need to be fixed. Even
Right.
on the outside, even your exterior. You know what I'm saying? You can be the beautifulest person on the planet, but you still got negative ways on the inside. You understand what I'm saying? And for the most part, that's what this shit is about. It's about fixing yourself. Because none of us are perfect. None of us. None of us are perfect. None of us do everything with perfection. So you have to go back, fix yourself, and then study the world, and then come back and study your damn self. You got to. So with that being said, man, let's keep it moving, man. I ain't mean to go on a rant. Sorry, y'all, but you know how I get down sometimes. I just don't
You
like
good,
when I read
everyone?
you know what I'm saying, when we read the history and we see a lot of this stuff that just like they telling you wasn't nothing but a damn slave. They telling you wasn't
Right.
nothing but a fucking slave to this
Well, we
day.
ain't doing nothing but we ain't nothing but the master inventors.
That's right. And then all these other immigrants come here, look down on you. And that's why I say though, that's why I don't got no respect for none of them immigrants. None of them. None of them. You hear me talking. I know they on my video. They hear me or whatever. And like I said, the reason why I say that is because I mean, well, then again, let's keep it frank. I respect anybody who respect me and anybody who have a knack and want to learn and get knowledge. But understand this: if you come here and if you look down on any, if you say anything negative about black people, that should be your ass. The same way we jump on each other, the same thing should happen to another person. Because you don't know. You mean tell me you here on this land and you got this pseudo education and you don't know nothing about this land or the people of the land? You don't know nothing? You telling me so you don't know none of the inventions or none of the stuff that we invented? Or none of the stuff that we did prior to you fucking leaving your fucking land and coming here? We done been hung, lynched, dogs, all
Right.
this horrific shit, and we still here. With the exception to the few cowards that ran and went to Liberia, for the most part, we still here. And like we said yesterday, you don't see none of these Pan-Africans going to Africa. None of them. You don't see Umar Johnson. You don't see these niggas with these Sinetta and these other netters and these other motherfuckers who always talking about these African these African spiritualities or whatever. You don't see none of them getting up going back over there. Because if it's so cheap over there and it's so much better, why don't you take your ass back over there?
That's right.
For real. Since you
Right.
want to be there so much.
And then you think about it, okay. So just like how we taught that we come from Africa, and when we see an African or if we know somebody that come from Africa, wouldn't you expect them to tell you the truth if they know the truth? You know what I'm saying? And you don't really, you don't see too much of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say now, my teacher when I was studying told me, you know what I'm saying? But it still took me like a couple of months to really like see what he was saying. He was like, yo, the story was told in reverse for some of my elders. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And shout out to the brother Todd Data, man, because he was working on brother Duke of Tears on the platform earlier, and I was really looking forward to building with the brother Duke of Tears today. So hopefully we'll be able to get him on there, man. That would be a powerful get down right there.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I definitely want to be. Matter of fact, you know what? And like I said, I'm gonna reach out to him. I got a couple people that I'm looking forward to trying to put in this documentary, and like I said, we're gonna go from there. But like I said, man, I mean, to some people, if you don't see the videos and you don't see what's going on or what took place here, and you see why they tell you that 85% of the wealth go to 1% of the population, and the other 85% of the population own what they say. I'm saying it wrong. 1% of the population own 85% of the wealth, and the other 85% of the population own 15% of the wealth. And we know why. We know why. Because these same motherfuckers, like I read, like we got the other video. I got the other video showing you that most of these people that's on money was Masons, and most of the jokers that's on money did something. That's why they always blowing George Washington up, because George Washington was black. George Washington was not that crack, and I can't prove it cold-heartedly 100%. But like I told you, I was watching a video one day, and a white boy let the shit out the bag. He said the real George Washington got killed in the fucking in the Revolutionary War. He said they replaced him with another motherfucker. So like I said, I know myself that, remember, we can take that for some who they tell you the first motherfucker in the Revolutionary War that got killed was supposed to be a Negro. You understand what I'm saying? So, we gotta really start smartening up, man. You got too many of these people who take too many of these educational institutions too fucking serious, and they want you to use them as sources. Okay, we can use them as sources, but at some point in time, we got this book right here. And that's the reason why these niggas don't want to talk about it. They don't want to fuck with the conscious one. They gonna call everybody else out. But when I told them about the pyramids in Peru, they don't want to talk about that. Because it's somebody that's in the chat room or somebody that watched the video, they gonna go and put the date for Egypt and put the date for Peru, and then they gonna be like, yo, these niggas lying. These niggas is frauds. They're frauds, because they like this man up here telling you that, but you're going to try to sit here and say, oh, his article is pursued. Okay, well, you don't like that article? Well, try this one. Okay, you don't like that one? Well, let's try this one. You understand what I'm saying? So it goes on and on and on, especially with this stuff, man. And I just be trying to just put people up on game, man. That's it, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think like it's been a long road. I done seen a lot of, you know what I'm saying, I'm through a lot of ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't plan on doing this or being some, you know what I'm saying, being on time to this one or any of this stuff. All I wanted to do was, get myself a job and provide for my family. You know what I'm saying? I happen to be on disability. I happen to have extra time. I happen to start getting real serious in my studies, and here I am now. I'm out here teaching this. I'm out here giving y'all this information. And like I said,
Chief wants the link.
huh?
Chief says send him the link.
I'm about to send it to him now, Chief. I'm about to send it to you now, Chief. But yeah, man, For the most part, man, this is what we doing, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, man, I wasn't planning on doing this. And when I look at the history, this shit is serious, man. This shit's serious. It's serious that they calling you an African and they know you're not an African. It's serious that they sitting up here telling you that they giving the fucking reparations to these $5 Indians and they got these fake ass white Indians running around here. Like, how the fuck can you be a white Indian after what we heard? Y'all done came and took the fucking land. How can you claim to be an Indian? How? How disrespectful is that?
Totally.
How disrespectful is that? And these motherfuckers be serious about it. And don't nobody call them out on it.
Right, man.
I'm not going no power when I see no white. I'm calling you out. You ain't no Indian. You need to take that shit off. You need to put the pilgrim uniform on. Take that Indian uniform off and put the uniform of your ancestors. Yeah, you had one fucking Indian in your family because you probably raped her. Right. Or you probably, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a mutual agreement. So like I said, man, you know, wake up, people. Wake up. This is edutainment, yes. But at the end of the day, you're still property. You're still property. They told Dred Scott you would never be a United States citizen. What the fuck you think you would never be a United States citizen? You have forced citizenship. Forced citizenship. Can't get a fucking job. When I was coming up in the 80s, in the 90s, could not get a fucking job, bro. They did not have jobs accessible. Now, 25 years later, the population, the unemployment rate amongst young blacks, they still got the same problem. How is that possible?
Right.
How is that possible? But according to the UNDRIP and ADRIP, you have right to all that first. You have right to the Homestead Housing Act was made for you. That shit go first. So even if you can't get into one of these luxury facilities that you're trying to get in, you use that. You go back to use that, but you have to put them on notice first and let them know who you are so you can use the Rights and Indigenous People Act. Because that's supposed to be treaty law. That's treaty law right there. So you have to be that for that to work for you. Yeah, you can claim it, but if they look on there and say, oh, you're African American, you understand what I'm saying? That ain't going to help you out. That ain't going to help your cause. So like I said, at the end of the day, man, you not pay me no mind. You sit here, watch these videos, fucking eat donuts, tacos, McDonald's, or whatever the hell people be doing. But at the end of the day, man, I already proclaimed my national. I already corrected my status. So, you know what I'm saying? If that means something to you, then that means something to you. I already know my ancestry. It's good to go back and look. Yeah. I went back all the way up to the 1850s. But guess what? I started realizing like this shit don't matter. Cause both my grandmothers already told us what we was. And they was adamant about it. And they was classified as fucking Negroes. They was adamant about it. You understand what I'm saying? They was adamant about it. I'm not black or I'm not a motherfucking Negro. I'm an Indian. And never understood what that meant until now. Now you understand what it means. Black is Civitimatu. Black is you are fucking conquered people. That's why you are claiming to be the terms in which the people who colonized you and conquered you. So at the minimum, filling some paperwork out when you already got paperwork on your ass. I don't see, okay, it doesn't start with the paperwork. It starts with you knowing who you are. And out of knowing who you are, then you start making moves and saying, well, look, okay, this is who I am. And since I'm that, I might as well correct that. Since you calling me something else, nah. If you call me that, then you're going to have to pay me for calling me that. If you slander my name by calling me an African American after I already proclaim that I'm an Aborigine of North America under such and such tribe, I can't even say under the tribe because, like I said, most of the tribes in which we are part of not federally recognized. Why is that? They know who the fuck they found here. They know they ain't find them fucking mongoloids. But they ain't got to give you nothing because you done submitted and you done conquered. You conquered now. You don't have to. What the fuck they gonna give you? What the fuck they gonna give you something for? You didn't conquer. You calling yourself that. That's like a motherfucker calling you a dog, and then 10 years later, you calling yourself a dog. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, end of the day, man, don't like what I'm saying, unsubscribe or whatever, man. I ain't in this shit for that. I ain't in this to be telling nobody, yo, hit the like button. Oh, hey, let's get these likes up. I'm not in this shit for that. I don't give a fuck if you hit the like button or not. I really don't care. And I mean that adamantly. So, I mean, y'all, one of y'all brothers want to go ahead, man.
Shit, man. I'll let you build, bro. You dropping real flame. Plus, I don't want to hold people back too much. The video, you know, we encroaching in on about 3 hours. We kind of hit it pretty fast today. Got through the book pretty quick. Or a couple sections that we planned on getting through. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, just don't let none of these jokers tell you no lies about this, that, and the third. You go do the research for yourself. If you haven't, you know what I mean, ask questions to people that's, you know, more educated in that field. You know what I mean?
You know what?
No
Hold up. I mean, go ahead. I'm gonna just go on something real quick.
Go ahead.
While we doing that. All right, hold up. Let me see something. Y'all can't see my screen anyway. All right, so hold up. When all else fails, let me see. All right. Now look. All right. When all else fails, let's go to the accounts that they said. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always like to keep the pictures, because the pictures is definitely epic. When all else fails. And like, you know what I'm saying, like the brother Karimio say, they know they found fucking black people all over the fucking planet, man, especially in Americas, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So when all else fails, let's go to the videotape. Let's go to what they said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? See this? This is American Indian. No, matter of fact, I'm sorry. This is actually an African. This is an American Indian. Right next to this European right here, who's faking to be you. You understand?
Right.
Who's faking to be you. You know what I'm saying? And we can go on. Mayans. Well, that's just a goofy picture right there. Here go more aborigines. We already know this right here. We already know these are not Africans. These are the Indians who was there, who working for these Europeans for the trinkets. They go more. They show you more. They show you more. Where these people at? And like I said, this is what I like to go on right here, because you cannot refute this. You can be an idiot and claim, and you can be an idiot and look at the images and say, all right, well, we don't know who they are, or we don't know what they are, and lie to ourselves and say all this goofy shit. But we're told Indians got straight hair. We're told Indians that, and then when you speak to most of the people, that's why I say, like, I be laughing and shit, man. Because when you speak to most of our own people, we're so fucking confused. We be like, my grandmother was an Indian. My grandmother had straight hair. No, your grandmother family let these Europeans either involuntarily or involuntarily. That's the reason why she lights with straight hair. Because these images got curly hair people with fucking afros. You know what I'm saying? So, like, where these people at? Oh, they not African, so where they at? Oh, the Indians had straight hair too? I mean, Indians had afros? I said go on and on and on, man. It goes on and on and on. And we don't even understand it. We think it's a joke. Look at this right here. This is the Atlantic Braves, okay? This is a motherfucking nigga, man. This is a nigga. So, I mean, I don't mean to call him a nigga, but it's a black aborigine. He classified as a Negro. You know what I'm saying? Now, this right here is not, this is American right here. You understand? And like, look, shit go on and on and on, man. Even if we not touching on that book, I can still show you irrefutable evidence that we was here. Because the images, somebody took the time to draw you out and put a melanated sister riding an alligator. Somebody took the time. Somebody seen that. Somebody made these maps. You know what I'm saying? Somebody made these maps with all these Negroes on it, all
Right.
over the place, all over the fucking place. All these different maps got nothing but damn Negroes on it. So somebody was lying about this. Come on, man. And that's the thing. Like even when you talk to these so-called scholars, look at this. Like a sister from the block. You know what I'm saying? The gig is up, man. I mean, like I said, man, the gig is up. Look, more Negroes. Look at these people. Look at these people. Where these people at now? Where they at now? Oh, they getting up to go to work tomorrow. You see this right here? It wasn't until the Cherokee Nation adapted the European culture, mixing with the Ani Yanaga, it say white people, that they became civilized and racially divided, which displaced many of the original unmarked Cherokee Indians. What is they calling the freemen? Oh, you're not an Indian because you got African in you. But they know damn well that the fucking, and then like I said, they give you the picture of these mongoloids that got dark skin. That's not us. That's not us. They just dark mongoloids. The
Right.
people they found from Virginia and the Southwest and Northwest was Negro. The only reason you see them mongoloids in them territories because of them putting them on them reservations. Okay, and that's why they rewarded them. Okay, it says now classified as Negroes outside their own nation. Indian ancestry claimed by American Negroes is not a result of being enslaved by the European Indian. It's a result of the American Negro acknowledging his family tree, which was undoubtedly Indian. Okay, that's a
Right.
Samuel Hawk, a former slave or POW who was freed in Nottoway County, Virginia, about 1836. He moved to Gallia, Ohio, and then to Calvin Center, Michigan, where he was reported to have been the largest taxpayer. Okay, they say he married Matilda Dungy, the sister of Sarah Dungy, who is shown in the first page of this photo. So, like I said, man, wake up. Okay, this is Dr. Nicholas Leon. Okay, physician, archaeologist, anthropologist, and enologist. It's a founder of the Museum of the Mohegan in Mexico. It's the almost extinction of the original Negroes during the time of the Spanish conquest and the memories of them in most of the ancient traditions. Okay, now what are we reading? Okay, what are we reading? Let me say that again. The most ancient of the original Negroes during the time of the Spanish conquest and the memories of them in the most ancient traditions induce us to believe that the Negro was the first inhabitant of Mexico. 1919. Okay? Okay, you see this? You see these coats of arms? These are Negroes from the Americas. These are not no motherfucking Africans. That born Afro. That's why when you see the African, he got that spear. Why don't you see the Africans with bow and arrows? Why? I don't see them with bow and arrows. I see them with spears. Okay? Another Negro in fucking Europe with that same feather crown on. Well, this is another image right there, though. But like I said, man, for the most part, man, people need to really start doing their culture, start learning their culture, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a lie and stripped you from your culture, stripped you from your culture, got you calling yourself something that you're not. You're not an African, so why would you be considered that? Oh, because they telling you, oh, well, Africans all over the planet. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. There ain't no Africans all over the planet because the people over there do not consider themselves to be Africans. So, you know what I'm saying? I got one more meme I'm gonna read real quick before we move further. I got a rant because, like, when you read this history, man, this history sometime, man, will break you down, man, make you cry, man. Like I said, bro, should have make you cry, bro. Make a grown man cry, because it's like it's like somebody lying to you. You know what I'm saying? All right, Carlos Chavez Marquez again. The Negro type is saying, shout out to Johnny Aborigine. Okay, I see a lot of people got problems with the brother, but shout out to the brother I learned a lot from. Okay, the most ancient Mexican sculptures. It say the Negro figure frequently in most remote traditions of some American Pablo. It is to this race doubtlessly belong the most ancient skeleton distinctive from the red American race, which have been found in various places from Bolivia to Mexico. It is likely, we repeat, America was a Negro continent. So when we talk about these motherfucking inventions, he's telling you himself America was a Negro continent. Okay? He's telling you himself American was a Negro continent. So, I mean, y'all brothers can keep it moving. Y'all can go ahead, man. I'm gonna stop it here. Jaguar. I guess I'm on my own. All right, so let me see something. All right. All right, we're gonna get back into the encyclopedia. All right, where was I at? All right, I left off at foot bags. All right. So we're gonna do garden botanicals. All right. All right, so the Aztec who empire was established in what is now Mexico in about 1100 AD. Planted lavish botanical gardens featuring enormous collections of plants, both native to the area and imported from the tropical coast, hundreds of miles distant. Botanist John Bertram is often credited with planting the first botanical garden in America. Although he started the first in the United States, the Aztec had botanical garden long before Bartram. Okay, all right. So garden herbs. Okay, actually, Jaguar Omek touched on this, but I'm gonna run through it real quick. American Indians not only cultivated food crops, they say they also planted herbs that were frequently used for medicinal purposes. Early European observers saw such garden growing at Indian settlements that had been abandoned with the encroachment of the colonists in the eastern part of the North America. In his book, American Indian Medicine, Virgil Vogel wrote that one colonial physician stated that he was persuaded that the only reason why they took all these all these pains and planting, all these pains and planting. I'm sorry, all these pains and planting. It say simple was owing. Damn, yo, my bad, yo. I lost my train of thought, yo. Let me read that again, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. So Virgil Vogel wrote that one colonial physician stated he was persuaded that the reason why they took all these pain and planting these simple was owing to their doctor care, that upon the occasion that might be provided with these vegetables that were proper for the Indians, distemper it say, or any other use they might have occasion to make of them. And say simples were herbs used to cure disease. Okay, you back with me, Jaguar? What the fuck, yo? The something happened? Let me see something, yo.
Yeah, I think it still was showing the pictures.
Still was showing the pictures, right? All right, because you know what? You got to click on it. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to click on it. My bad, y'all. All right, yo. You want to touch on any of this? Touch on geometry?
Yeah, I can touch on geometry. That's straight.
Let's do it.
All
I'm gonna
right.
go ahead and look in the back chat while I'm doing that.
All right. Geometry calculated 1200 BC, Mesoamerican, South American, and then North American Southwest cultures. So here we go. Geometry. It says the mathematics of the properties of measurement and relationships of points, lines, and angles, known as solid geometry, was developed by the Indians of North Meso and South America, independently of the systems devised by the ancient Greek, Chinese, or the people of the Middle East. Based on the circle, indigenous geometry has been practiced throughout the Americas for well over 2,000 years, and probably longer. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient Americans applied their knowledge of the principles of geometry to architecture, city planning, and the ornamental designs that they used in sculpture painting and textile patterns, such as those woven by the Maya of Mesoamerica for hundreds of years. All right, and it's telling you, Maya's 1500 BC. Precise theoretical and working knowledge of geometry was needed to build the Mesoamerican pyramids that were constructed by pre-Peruvian people in El Aspero in about 3000 BC, or by the Olmec in about 1200 BC in the Yucatan Peninsula of what is now Mexico. This knowledge was also needed to build the monumental stoneworks of the Moche, whose culture began to flourish in what is now Peru in about 200 BC. Another example of geometrical theory and practice on a grand scale are the Nazca lines, huge geometrical designs scribed into the desert in what is now Peru. The Nazca culture flourished from about 900 BC to AD 600. These mysterious geometric figures and animal shapes whose lines radiate from diverse centers are organized by a set of principles, so vast in scope that they can only be viewed from the air. Okay, so it's letting you know there that we had to be doing something in the air, because how can you really, scope something at a large scale, with the direct angles and point measures, to get it to make it visible big enough. We had to be flying. That's all I'm saying. So it says it says the designs would have been impossible to execute without careful prior planning and an understanding of geometry. An analysis of the architectural structures throughout the Americas also shows evidence of a complex geometry. In the pueblos built by the Anasazi starting between AD 700 and AD 900 in Caco Canyon in what is now New Mexico are kivas, or round ceremonial rooms, which show evidence of spatial planning, as do site plans for many ancient cities. The architectural and artworks of Mesoamerica offer similar proof. Okay. It says, in order to draw circles, which then could be bisected and turned into polygons, The Aztec, whose empire was established in Mesoamerica in about AD 1100, were known to have used a compass consisting of a cord with a peg at each end. This was called a uh, Talayola Alani in the Aztec language, Nahuatl. The timid zetapilali, a plum made from a weight tied to a string, produced a vertical line. Okay. Aztec and Maya builders also used a level called a quamitzli and a square in order to be able to create to create right angles. Okay. Western scientists were slow to recognize the American Indian command of geometrical principles. One reason for this is that the buildings they studied were often eroded, causing the angles, alignments, and circles to change somewhat over the hundreds of years since their construction. Second, all of the world's geometries are essentially a grammar of space based on certain principles. Although the grammatical rules of American Indian geometry are the same as those of Greek, Islamic, or Chinese geometrical systems, the message they were intended to convey differed. Often, the angles and alignments of these buildings are not what one would expect operating from the perspective of Western geometry. In the past, they were written off as sloppy planning. Modern archaeologists, however, have identified several Mesoamerican sites that may have been used as astronomical observatories. And it says you can see astronomy for that. It says they also believe that the rising and setting of the planet Venus or stellar constellations often determine the positioning of buildings in sacred complexes. Okay, pretty long. This last paragraph right here, though. According to Francine Venet, a professor of applied mathematics writing in Native American mathematics, Mesoamerican designers use patterns and templates, not only for the layout of their buildings, but for sculpture and painting. In addition to the ability to create nearly perfect right angles and circles when desired, symmetry, the repetition of design elements on both sides of a central axis. A central axis is another feature of these works that proves an understanding of geometrical principles. Geometrical designs can be seen today in the pottery of the Zuni and Acoma Pueblo people, who are the descendants of the Anasazi, and those on the rugs woven. It says, by the Navajo, people of the desert southwest of what is now the United States. So we was totally advanced 1200 BC, man. I mean, I, it's just, I mean, some things, man, like you say, it'll piss you off, but you gotta find the joy in it so you can really, keep yourself balanced, man. Because I mean, that's major, man. They basically showing you how to square the circle and all in that section right there.
But they would have you believe that it came from Egypt.
Facts. Yeah.
They were, bro. When we go down, you're going to see that the number 0 was invented in the Americas. Okay, you're going to definitely see the number 0 was invented in the Americas. And like I said, and like shout out to the sis in the chat. Yo, I ain't even trying to debate nobody. I'm honestly not. I can care less. I don't need none of them niggas validation to validate the fact that we was already here. We done proved it. I know after watching my videos and watching a lot of other brother videos, you pretty much understand it or whatever, but there's some things in which people who don't truly understand 100%, man. Because like I said, they done covered it up so much. If you never seen the images of the people that they found Virginia, then you wouldn't understand. I seen them. I know. I understand this shit. I understand. We was already in these areas where our family live at now. We didn't take that trek to fucking to Western. Because even at that time, they were still warring. They were still warring with the Seminoles at the time of the Trail of Tears.
That's right.
That's the reason why you see all these numbers jump up on that census. That's why you see it go from damn near 1 million people to almost fucking I'm gonna say 4 decades later, you see almost 8 million people on there. How 8 million people was having all them babies and they was in bondage. So,
Right.
like I said, man, I mean, everybody do their own individual research that brings something to the forefront. And like I said, I appreciate everybody. I study everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got gold, see precious metal, gold panning. We already know that we was already doing gold here. Now these are look how they make the images look. Crackers. What the fuck did the historian tell you? The first people of Mexico was Negroes. So why the fuck would they go through the trouble to show us these idiots?
That's right.
Oh, them Indians. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Gold plating. We already know we was. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me touch on this. Let me read this. I'll read the paragraph. All right, so gold plating. 1000 BC. All right, South American Indian cultures. Gold plating is one of several processes of using gold to cover other materials. The Chavan who lived in what is now Peru, starting in about 1000 BC, devised several methods of gold plating. One involved with hammering the metal into a tin foil sheet that was then adhered to objects. Another used acid to dissolve copper contained in an alloy, leaving a thin layer of gold on the surface. Electroplating was yet another method the mots used to give objects that were from other metals the appearance of gold, like they do now. Like you got gold plating, pretty much the same. All right, gourds. Y'all already know what a gourd is. If you don't, a gourd is like a squash or a pumpkin, but it's green. Something like a squash, something like a green squash. Skin grab, skin grabs. Grapes, granulation. Let me see. I mean, well, it ain't really much, but granulation, real quick. I'll touch on this. 1700 AD, North American, Southeast Great Plains, Northeast culture. It say when an open wound occurs on the body, it begins to heal itself. They say by supplying blood to the area. Granulation begins when the body starts growing capillaries, small blood vessel buds. They say these capillary buds look granular in appearance. Granulation is the process by which the body is able to heal itself by providing a large supply of blood to the wound. Then it gradually. So look, one way that like this happens is now if you drink cayenne pepper, well, they got the liquid cayenne pepper. So if you take a couple of what's the names of that? That's pretty much cayenne pepper takes blood to places where it don't normally go. Okay. So I mean, like, so the granulation process is definitely something that's amazing. We know grapes. I want to get to this Iroquois Constitution, though. Definitely. See grit, see cornmeal, groundnuts, guacamole. We already know they're making guacamole here. Let me see. But guilt, let me see something. Let me see how far we got to go down. We on 8. If we can get out of here, man, we can get to the Iroquois. Let me see how far the Iroquois is. If not, we'll just touch on it sometime this week when we do part 2 of it. It's way out there.
Yeah, it's a lot in H.
Yeah, all right. So we go, you know what? I mean, we can just build, and we can stop right here on H. Stop right here in the beginning of H, and then we could just build for a little bit. Then I'm gonna end the video, man. See who in the chat room, talk to people in the chat room. But yeah, for the most part, man, you know, I mean, people think this shit is like, you know what I'm saying, like this is just entertainment. No, it's not entertainment when you done been declassified, and then you got people that runs from their country to come here. And I ain't talking about, I honestly, the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, I don't really care. I don't care if they come here because them are brothers. And they were shipping us from there. They were shipping us from here to the Caribbean anyway. So any of the brothers that come, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the people that got to come from one landmass to another landmass. So you know that for a whole continent, and now you're here, and now you're looking down on people in which you never did the proper. You getting the same information from these Europeans, in which they know they got everything from them, but yet the jokes is on us as usual. And you know, we the joke around the world. Even though that they love you, they love the Michael Jordans, they love the joke, the Jay-Z's, they love the entertainers, they love all of them. They even love Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Medgar Evers and all the, you know what I'm saying, all the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, they go, Chief, what's up? Chief. Peace, Carl. What's up, my brother? I see Carl, Victor, Navarre, Kimmett Ross, Julia Spencer, peace, sis. Who else we got in here? Ghost, peace, my brother. MT Soul, peace. Dark Horse, peace. Cena Miles, peace. Salaya, American Indian, peace, my sister. Who we got? Ron Redbird, the Rant.
Yo, peace.
Mark
Peace,
Fault, what's up?
one.
Peace, my brother.
Bobby, Jaguar, old man. Salute to Aboriginal Power. Troopers in the building. What it do, man? See y'all going in, man, doing y'all thing, man. As usual. Master teaching. Man. So yeah, man, come on over.
Yeah, man. You see the stuff that we have made over here, and that they saying that this shit ain't never exist. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, this book right here, man, you run through this book and you see the inventions yourself, and they powerful. You can't help but to be amazed because this is stuff that the Europeans saying that they created.
Hey, I sent you a question that came from them the other day, right? They asked the question, well, once you give them like Jack Forbes' book or something, right? They would say, well, what's his sources? So they'll be like, well, where does this book come from? And we you know, we've already talked about the price of the book, things of that nature, and who wrote the book and all that stuff, right? But then they'd be like, what's his sources? And it's being amongst like Jack Forbes, being amongst the people and getting the stories and stuff like that or whatever, right? Or reading the Spanish documents, things like that. And just so happens we have somebody on our squad that reads all that stuff. So yeah, man, we pretty confident in that. And don't ask the goddamn question unless you know the answer to it. You see what I'm saying? That's dumb. If y'all doing the research, be like, okay, well, you should have done the research on what sources they did have. They'll ask the question, not even know. And I think that's dumb. When I ask y'all your question, what's your source? I know your source. See how they work?
You know what it is, though, Chief? See, listen, anybody who will sit there and debunk it's some things about Africa that I wouldn't even attempt to debunk. I wouldn't even attempt to debunk, because whether or not I believe that it happened there first or it didn't happen is we can't debate it. But they want to debate everything. Like, everything is debatable. Everything not debatable, and that's how you know motherfuckers is fake scholars. But they don't want to debate them pyramids, and they don't want to talk about that. And like I said, man, whether or not these jokers they want some of this work or not or whatever, I'm damn sure gonna keep blowing these niggas up. I could care less. We already reaching people. People already understand what the situation is or what's going on, how they've been basically deculturized, had their culture been, their culture has been reconstructed, and now you're African. Now you're African. Now you're classified as black. When you clearly look when you clearly look at somebody with a black hat or black hoodie or black pants, and you're nowhere near the same complexion them. You can be dark brown as possible. That don't make you black. Black is a damn status. Black is something that they gave you to strip you from your land. And this is the truth. And people, like I said, people don't want to deal with it, but it is what it is. That's why people don't want to be called black. And then you deal with these same people like on side of the platform. Well, why don't you want to be black, you dummy? Because black is, you wasn't called black when they came here. They gave you that term. That term is basically, like I said, they stripping your culture from you by calling you that. And by you allowing them to call you that, you're voluntarily do the same thing that they doing. So like I said, man, common sense ain't common. Everybody need, every 1 minute peer review research is not credible. Then the next minute, the same people who say that pull the same article out. And then, so where you getting this info? You getting it from him. So like I said, man, shout out to the aborigines, shout out to the African Americans who don't know who they are. And shout out to the real African Americans who really from Africa, but they're really not African Americans because there's no such word as African. And that word African is a colonization word as well.
That's right.
Been truly colonized. You'd have been colonized by demons. You know what I'm saying? By straight demons. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, reading this stuff gets me heated, especially when they not telling you that. Then if you look at the cover of the encyclopedia, you see that they got these straight haired Mexican looking people up there. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is, man. I'm about to end this. I'm about to go to fucking sleep. I am tired as hell, man. Before I end it, Chief, what's going on with you though? Chief probably out though. Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, but yeah. I'm about to end this video, man. I'm tired as hell. We're gonna do tomorrow, we can do part 4 to this. And we're gonna keep going all the way till we get to the end, because the end is very interesting. They got maps in it. We want to touch on some of these maps. I'll make an attempt to read the different tribes because they got the maps with all the different tribes on it.
Right.
So
yeah, man, by the time we finish, man, like it shouldn't be nothing but application being put into play, man. It's only so much you can just keep learning without doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main goal, man. We doing this so y'all can really apply apply this, man, because this is stuff that you can apply, man. You know what I'm saying? Learning the herbs and how we embrace ecology and you know, cooperated with each other. You know what I'm saying? This is what we supposed to get back into. Like, as far as us anyway, of course we not gonna get everybody. You know what I'm saying? There always have been some assholes. But we gotta stick together and make sure we connect with one another. Even if we have to move closer to each other to really do it, like we really gotta do that stuff, man. Like, we all here on this terrain, not knowing when we gonna leave. So while we here connected with one another, we need to be making moves with really uniting and cooperating with one another, man. Because the people that you can't get close to, here's your family. Really, anywhere, all of us in this chat, you know, on the panel, hell, even most of the subscribers are related to us. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody bond with this information if you're not related to the people. That's just the bottom line. If you don't, you're not gonna listen, and you shouldn't say nothing else about it. You know what I'm saying? Because the only reason people who want to have, you know, like you were saying, peer reviews and stuff like that, it's simply because they're trying to find something wrong. When you got to go that far to say everything that you do needs, you got to look at this author and that author, like you ain't got no damn common sense of your own, or you haven't studied nothing in Africa, when we all mostly come from that. That's what led me to here. Studying EFI, connecting with my ancestors like people supposed to when they get into the tradition. Now, if they really want to get real, that's why they really wouldn't want to debate me. Because if you really connect with your ancestors, then you're going to connect with them peacefully and humbly and carry on about your way. And they will let you know that everybody don't have the same ancestors. See what I'm saying? You should feel that. You should know that. So for you to try to base everybody in a one landmass is totally insane and incorrect. It just hands down, man.
Yeah. And like I said, and like just like you said, for the most part, they do that, and they do that ignorantly. They don't know, like they ignorant two times. They ignorant because they don't want to hear the information, and then they ignorant because they really don't know. And they don't know because they don't want to hear the information. So, you know what I'm saying? So they, you know, that's what they say. Ignorant is, you could be ignorant by not knowing, and then you could just ignore something and be ignorant, being as though that you are just, we've been telling you the whole time, but you just ignorant to the fact because you don't understand or understand. And like I said, most of this stuff is self-explanatory. Once you get a brother who can really provide you with the outlook on what happened over here, they came here, they was warring with the other Spanish and the Portuguese and French, trying to take the land from them. And in the process, we was warring with certain ones. So then it took longer. Then we was also warring with, we was helping the British war off against them. So like I said, man, look, we're gonna do this. Like we're gonna do this tomorrow, man. I'll hit you up tomorrow, Jaguar Omac, and see what's good, man. Chief Holiday, Chief, you back?
Yeah, I'm in there, man.
Yeah, tomorrow, Ooga. Tomorrow we can get
Yeah,
one
man.
in a little early.
We're gonna go ahead again.
Yeah, we go back at it tomorrow.
The 48-hour stream, man. You know they shut down 2 channels, man. They shut down my Chief Holiday channel, and then they shut down the Imagine That channel yesterday or today, whatever. I don't know. We started another one. We win. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you start putting out information about other people, man, that's what they don't like that. But my thing is, these are already videos that's already on YouTube, and then they'll say it's hate speech. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah, man. You know they always want to find something. These motherfuckers always gonna try to find something to mess with somebody about. So, especially when you putting information out there that people can't help but to look into. You can't help but to look into it. You can't help but to.
Well, that's why we started our own network, man. Social media network, TribeUp.app, man. Anybody, if you haven't joined, please join. You know, it's our own thing. We're gonna be doing live streams over there. A lot of the content providers over here gonna be, doing things over there too. And well, you know what I'm saying? We can just start. So that if they say, oh, well, we don't like what you guys are saying, okay, well, we got our own network. We can do our own thing. And you never shut out. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody, man. Big ooga to the tribe. Yeah, man. But we in the building, man. We winning.
Indeed, that's what's up, man. So
Yeah.
with that being said, to the Aborigines, thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate y'all. Um, like I mentioned in the beginning, man, if anybody wants to send any donations, the link is in the description. Anybody want to cop one of these t-shirts that I put together for you guys, the link is in the description. And with that being said, man, we'll be back tomorrow, man. And if anybody want to know anything about, like I said, the affidavits or anything, and I'm just telling people, do your homework, okay? Go look at that Eileen Bay video he got when he talking about nationality, and you can pretty much sit there and take notes from that, and you can apply that to everything that we talking about right now.
That's right.
So I mean, I urge y'all, go look at his research. Go look at, even though sometimes he get caught out there saying African or whatever, African spiritualities and all this other stuff though. But like I said, I don't agree. I don't agree with everything, but most of the brother research is 100. Um, Definitely go check it out, man. You know what I'm saying? And get back at me. Like, check that nationalization video out, please. Please, okay? Before you do, all you got to prove that, all you got to do is tell them you're African American. Then they already know who you are. They already know who you are. They already know who you are. Most times they've been waiting for us. So, that being said, man, I'm going to end this video, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Everybody who came through. Like I said, shout out to the brother Jaguar Omek, AP Power, and my brother Chief Holiday. Um, yeah, man, and we out of here. Chan Bill, Encyclopedia of the Aborigine Indians, and the 15,000 years of contribution. All right. So with that being said, peace.
All right. Peace. Peace.